Hi, this is James Garden, the CineTechGeek, and I'm still at Flanders with Bram here. And a big topic this year, because HDR is actually quite matured now, a lot of people, like the corporate world, are starting to talk about, can we do HDR for our corporate clients? Now there is actually capabilities, for example, YouTube, you can upload HDR to them today. You can get access to Resolve 16, which has all the HDR buttons in it in the free version, so you can start learning today. But the big thing missing is the monitor. The monitor is key. So I'm here with Bram, Flanders, who make monitors, and we're going to ask him, if you are interested in going in that direction, what's the path for a company or a grader or a producer who wants to get into corporate level HDR today?
Yeah, I think this is something that we as an industry, not just our company, but we have the same kind of messaging that Dolby does on this, is that we're trying not to scare people away from HDR by making them think it has to be expensive. Like you said, there are tools that are essentially free on the software side. On the monitoring side, people see these Dolby Vision level mastering monitors that are $35,000, $45,000.
Yeah.
And if you want to be a certified facility that does this work at a top end, you might need something like that. But that's not prescriptive. Like, you can use Dolby Vision, you can use HDR10, you can use HLG, and have monitors that operate a little bit lower nit level, maybe volumetrically don't track quite as accurately as the really high-end HDR mastering monitors, but you can still get the job done and do successful HDR work with something like the 551U behind us, which is a 55-inch UHD OLED, 1000 nit max on a very small area. If you have full screen, there's a lot of loading behavior and you can't quite do that, but you can get a very good looking HDR image. That's one of the things we're showcasing here. It's an $11,000 monitor, so it's not this crazy huge investment. You can do a great job, have professional level monitoring that allows you to do reasonable HDR projects, certainly for the corporate world.
And so let's quickly go over like a reason why you'd want to use a Flanders over, for example, buying an LG.
Yeah.
Right. So there are definite reasons why you'd want to do that. And I'll let you explain it because there's lots of acronyms and power levels, etc. So explain why it's slightly more than buying those domestic ones, but it's very much worth it. So just cover us why that's the case.
Yeah, so there's a few different things. One thing is at a very basic level, we can actually drive these at a brighter level. So when you get like an LG home TV, its HDR is going to tone map to a max of about 700 nits. We can drive these at up to 1,000 nits. So you get something that's considerably brighter, and that's really useful when you're doing HDR work. The other thing is that we don't do that tone mapping. We don't have all those consumer processing chips there. What we do is we show you essentially what's really being output from Resolve or Bakelite or whatever system you're using. And in a professional HDR mastering application, you don't want tone mapping. You want it actually to hard clip at that max level. And that is the baseline that then all the metadata for the tone mapping uses to allow it to work on all these home TVs at different nit levels. So it's real important to be able to have that hard clip, pure PQ up to the max luminance level of the monitor. That's what all these do. In addition to that, you of course have professional connectivity, so you have this kind of no-nonsense unidirectional, you send SDI out, the monitor has to do the right thing. There's no EDID handshake, there's no tricking the monitor into doing different things. So you can also turn off auto dimming with a very easy manual selection. So as a color grader, that's something you don't want. You don't want the screen dimming in the middle of a conversation about the scene.
Repeatable grade all the time. You don't want it to change based on what's before it, what's after it.
Absolutely.
And that's the biggest difference why you're going for one of these over a monitor that's made for grading and for previewing rather than something that's domestic.
Absolutely. And then, of course, being able to do full 12-bit is another thing. Most consumer TVs don't support that, so what you're dealing with is full 12-bit 444 RGB support, so you can get yourself a Decklink card or an Ultra Studio from Blackmagic or something like this, send it that 12-bit 444 RGB output, monitor supports it and shows you an accurate image.
Okay, cool. Anyway, thank you very much, Bram, for explaining this to us. So that's one of the big stories, or that's one of the big things I wanted to come away with this year at NAB, is the fact that high dynamic range is now pretty much matured. We have the tools and we know how to use them, and there's lots of knowledge out there, so there's no reason than now to go out and start upgrading your skills, because it's going to become the next black and white to color sort of transition over the next
within 5 years, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, thank you.
Next time.
Appreciate it.
Bye for now. This is James Gunn, the CineTechGeek at NAB 2019.